Now I would like to use scam calls, financial fraud, the risks of financial fraud to illustrate the framework, the concept behind our app. When you communicate the risks of scam calls or financial fraud, you may mention the severity of this risk, how bad the outcome is when people fall prey to the scam call, to any scam call. You may also, for example, you may tell your target audience that in 2022 in the U.S., on average, the people who were affected by a scam call lost on average $1,400. And in total, the scam callers made $40 billion. You may also wish to mention exposure. That is that could be percentage of people in your target audience who have been affected by this risk. And again, in the context of scam call in 2022, 1 in 5 Americans was affected by a scam call. And finally, you may need to mention vulnerability. That is, which subset of your target audience is more vulnerable, is more likely to be affected by this risk. And in the context of scam call, it could be older people or people with anyone with lower financial literacy, people who don't understand complicated concepts such as compound interest rate. They don't appreciate how paying a bit more each month to their credit card company or mortgage how much they can expedite the payment schedule. And so these are the various risk information that you may wish to communicate to your target audience in the context of scam calls or financial fraud. And as for common consumer reactions to this type of risk communication, people may ignore the risk information if they feel that they're pretty sophisticated in their knowledge about finance. They perceive themselves to have very high financial literacy. They're very confident. Then they may ignore. They may think that they would never be affected by scam calls. People may interrogate your risk information. Suppose that they were very shocked to hear that 1 in 5 Americans was affected by scam calls in 2022. And they may try to verify this information by looking up the really relevant information elsewhere on the internet, or ask someone that they know in their community who's very sophisticated in finance. People can also have trouble identifying with this risk communication message because they don't feel it's relevant to them. And again, it goes back to the what I said earlier concerning people who think that they're overconfident. They don't feel that they relate to the message, then they may ignore it. And intent. Your risk information and the information in your risk message may cause people to take precautions. So say someone who didn't know that scam calls were so prevalent and many people fell prey for it, and they didn't know that even by answering scam calls put them at much greater risk than others, because technology now can synthesize, can imitate your speaking by just recording a word or two that you say. So suppose this information is new to people, and they get this information from your communications. They may realize, oh, they need to take precautions. They may then intend to join, for example, the National Do Not Call list. They may download apps that helps prevent scam calls. And as for whether they will actually take actions to implement your recommendation, it may depend on some psychological barriers or physical barriers. So, for example, people may be too busy. They may have other more urgent need to tend to, and they forget to do what they had intended to do. So it would be helpful to remind them. It would be helpful to make the things easy for people when they try to, say, for example, try to join the try to take action to protect themselves from scam calls, the risk of scam calls. And finally, people may forward your risk information to their friends and family in their community to help them mitigate the risk of scam calls, especially someone who is older, someone who is who's not very knowledgeable about finances, may be more likely to receive this kind of word of mouth message from your target audience.